Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We done this before, but we'll do it again. Al-Masah al-Khufaini ja'izun bi sunnati. That Masah on the Khuf is permissible, what the Sunnah means. It is proven from the Sunnah. It is not proven from the Quran. Although I told you that according to one Kirat, Famsahu bi ru'usikum wa arjulikum, but that is not such a accepted explanation, right? والأخبار فيه مستفيضة. مستفيضة in this sense here means like it's مشهور. It's quite famous, but it's not, doesn't reach حد متواتر. حد متواتر is the same category as Quran. So it's a lot, but not so much, right? That is similar to the Quran. There are hadith that are mutawatir. They're so abundant, so copious that they reach the same stage as the Quran, but these are not, right? Carry on. Oh, yeah, sorry. At-taqila, to such an understanding. Right. So the next part is حتى قيل إنه من لم يره كان مبتدئا. So even though this is a fiqh book, but we learn something interesting here. We learn a important masla also. That is that when something is mustafid, it doesn't necessarily reach maybe the had tawatur. But when the hadith are very copious on something, they are abundant, and despite them being abundant, nobody wants to accept it. Somebody does not accept it. Such a person will become a mubtadi. It's considered a bid'ati, right? But if the hadith are so much, we just now a lesson in Ida that it is mutawatir, and the hadith are as abundant and as copious as the Quran. And then if you deny it, then what happens? You come out of the fold Islam. I'll give you a simple example just to understand this point here. See, the hadith about five salah, like although the people only believe in the Quran, they speak about Fajr, they speak about Asr, and they speak about Maghrib, Isha, or they say, or some of them says Maghrib. So they deny the other salah in between. But there are so many hadith that speak about the other two salah. If somebody denies it, they will come out of the fold of Islam because they are denying mutawatir. You understood what I'm saying? So when you deny a mutawatir, then you come out of the fold of Islam. Now, just another extra faida for you, like how in fiqh, you get faraz, wajib, sunnah muakkada, sunnah ghair muakkada, or some ulama say sunnah ghair muakkada and nafil is the same thing. Then you get mustahab, and you get makruh, you get khilaf awla, then you get makruh tanzihi, you get makruh tahrimi, then you get haram. So those are the categorizations of fiqh, and we did mention quite a bit of this before. Here in the Aqidah, you get either bid'at, some is either bid'at or either kufr. So here we learn something interesting. When you deny something which is mustafir, it is abundant, it's copious, but it is not as much as what as mutawatir, then you are bid'ati, you ahlul hawa, you don't come out of the fold of Islam, right? Then the next part, lakin man ra'al, if you accept, you say, yes, no, I accept it. The Masul Khufayn is proven, but lam yamsah, but you don't make masah, then akhiran, why? This is, you can say, akhiran bil azimat here is hal, in the condition that he's taking with the more preferred thing, right? Which is to make, to wash your feet physically, kana ma'juran, he will be rewarded. So you have to accept it even though you don't practice upon it, then it's fine, right? Okay, today we're going to start with a new lesson, inshallah. Okay, maybe before we look at the new lesson, right? The ibarat is a bit, oh, say the text is a bit complex, but before we look at the complex, I'll explain to you what he's saying there. He's saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In order for Masah on Khufayn to be valid, there's two things. One is the hadith must be of hadith asghar. It mustn't be hadith akbar. Like I told you, if you can't, you're in need of a faraz ghusl and you put your socks on before that, right? And then you now want to only make masa of your feet. No, that's the first thing. And the second thing is Listen nicely now. This, like I told you, इसमें थोड़े से पेचीदगी है. There's some bit of intricacy in the ibarat. First, understand the masla first. Then we'll fit it in afterwards. Listen nicely, inshallah. If anybody don't understand that, when your hadith must happen only when your wudu is complete. Listen, I'll repeat again. Your hadith must happen only when your wudu is complete. You got that? So to understand it, what I'm trying to tell you, say for instance, sometimes you're not ready to make wudu. Maybe you in a hurry or something. So you just wash your feet, right? And you put your socks on. And your plan was to complete your wudu later. And then your wudu broke. Then your wudu broke. Then they will say that Masah on that is not valid. Your wudu, yes, you perhaps maybe you did delay the actual wudu after making Masah. But as long as the others came after you completed your wudu, is that clear? Are you sure on that one? I hope the online ones, the online aunties understand it. If not, then let us know, please. I'll repeat it. That sometimes I can tell you, maybe maybe since you like it's difficult for you to wash your feet, right? So you are by a place where it's easy to wash your feet. So you just wash your feet on, and you put your socks on, and then later on you will make wudu. Because according to Hanafi madhab, that's valid. Ne? In the Hanafi madhab, um, what do you call this? Tawali is not a shart. Like in the other, the tawali means you don't have to wash your limbs in quick succession. The Hanafi madhab. If I wash my hands now, then I go smoke, and I come back and I wash my face, then I smoke, then I go take a coke and I wash my feet. My wudu is valid because the main thing you must wash is. I think in the Maliki madhab, gee, that's not the Hanafi madhab. Hanafi madhab, even if the one limb get dry and you wash the other limb after 1 hour and you wash the other limb after another hour, no problem. So that's called tawali. Tawali is not necessary. I think it's the Maliki madhab or the Amri madhab. In fact, I think it will still come in the kitab, inshallah. It will come still in the kitab. If it doesn't, we never come past it, but it will come. Otherwise, it's in the mutawalat. So I'm coming back to this masla. If you washed your feet, sometimes you say, oh yes, it's convenient. Somebody was helping you. Maybe an old person couldn't wash their feet, so there was something to help them. So they wash their feet quickly. They said, just help me to wash my feet while you're here. I'll put my Masah on, I'll put my Khufs on, right? And then I'll complete my wudu later. And then after washing the feet, after putting the Khuf on, your wudu broke. That Masah is not valid. You'll have to take that Khuf off. The converse scenario is this. You wash your feet, you put your Masah, Urdu, in Gujarati also, Mojo, whatever. You put your thing on and then you finish your wudu. And even though you delayed your wudu, but the hadith came after the wudu, then that's fine, right? And the reason there is in the kitab, why? Is because the sock is called ismani. Although this is a abstract thing, but to understand it, what it means is this, like, just to understand it, to make it easy. Once you make your wudu and you put your sock on, right? Then hadiths will come afterwards. This is to understand. So because the sock is a waterproof thing, the hadiths don't go into your foot. You understand what I'm saying? So that sock, that leather sock, it prevents the what? The hadith from going in. So that is why when you wash again, all you have to do is to wash that hadith off your sock and your wudu is done. I told you it's not maybe like that, but it's just like an abstract concept that I'm trying to explain to you to understand it nicely. So the main thing to understand at this point in time, what I told you is you must make hadith on on what you call it after you wear your sock and you made wudu, right? Now see the first one. ويجوز من كل حدث موجب للوضوء. It means to make masa or be permissible from every hadith that makes necessary wudu. That's a critical part. Not min hadithin mujibin al-ghusli. Right? So if you wore your sock, you made wudu, you wore your sock, you wash your feet, or you put a sock on and made wudu, or you made a complete wudu and you put your sock, and after that you need a faraz ghusl. You needed a faraz ghusl, right? Now, uh, you have to remove that socks, and you have to wash your feet. You can't go in the shower with your with your hands, do a handstand in the shower, and keep your feet in the air and wash your whole body. So I'm just going to make my feet. Won't work, right? See there, then they say, إذا لبسهما على طهارة كاملة. Now this is That was the first condition, and this is the second condition. But now, if you look at the exact translation of the second condition, it's saying that you must wear your khuf on taharat kamila. So if you look at what is being said in this kit, what is being said here? Here is being said that the literal meaning of this is you can only put your khuf on after you completed your wudu. That's what it's saying. But it's not like that. I told you, so long as what it means is so long as the hadiths come after taharat kamila. So actually what is meant here is the hadatha ala taharatin kamilatin. You understand what I'm saying? Because it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you have to wait on, because I told you you can do this, that you can wash your feet and you can put your hoof on, and then you can delay a little bit, and then you can wash the rest of your limbs. And then if the others come after you wash the rest of your limbs, then your massage is still perfect. So the words there is a bit deceiving. And this is the words of Quduri Sharif. It is the words of Quduri Sharif. Are you 100% clear on that? You sure? So see there. So إذا لبسه على طهارة كامل means إذا أحدث على طهارة كامل. You understood? Right. ثم أحدث. See now, then he made a hadith, right? Then you can make مثلا. See here. خص بحدث موجب للوضوء. That now the Sahih Bidayah is explaining the ibarat of what? Where the brackets in the Luqman. خص is, let me just see where is it? You got it there? Yeah. Yeah. So that's the Hidayah of that one is Huduri Sharif Ibarat, and Khassas now Sahib Hidayah Ibarat, right? So Sahib Hidayah is saying Khassahu bihadathin mujibin al-wudu. He specified, yani Imam Quduri has specified bihadathin mujibin al-wudu, that which a hadath that necessary wudu. Why? Why? I already gave you the reason. لأنه, because لو مسح من الجنابة, if he made masah from janabat, على ما نبين إن شاء الله. What's it? You got لأنه لو مسح من الجنابة. Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, okay, that's also what I got, but I don't know. I'm reading wrong to لأنه لا مسح من الجنابة, because there's no masah for janabah. Sorry, jazakallah. لأنه لا مسح من there's no masah from the janabah. There's no way you can make masah on your khuf. Yes, maybe there's other masah, like if you got a wound and that's separate masah. We're not worried about that. But here we mean, yes, we mean لا يعني لا مسح الخفين من الجنابة. Yes, it's a different masah. You got a very bad wound and you're going to shower, or like how we have nowadays also, although they don't use the cast now, I don't know about in UK in those places, but in South Africa, the cast, that is old fashioned now. Now they got a brace that you can put on your arm, and when you shower, you can take the brace off, and you can, so long as you don't bump your arm, and much much more easier. All the time when you're small, if you broke your arm, you got that cast. You have to wear it for 6 weeks. By the time you finish, it's dirty. It's got writing on. If you're in school, all over the road, and then you itch, you have to take a knitting needle and you scratch inside and all that stuff. Alhamdulillah, I never broke my arm or leg, never, not once. I don't know, but I mean, I see it. So now I saw one cousin. It's like a brace you put on. So that brace, your brace must be most of the time in that thing. You want to shower, you take it out. You want to wash your arm, you take it out, everything. But then, okay, the massage will come there. Can you make masa on it? So the usul is simple. Whether it's on your arm or anything, if it's easy for you to take it out and put it back, there is no difficulty, then you must take it out. But if there's difficulty on putting it back, when you say difficulty, I mean you'll be seriously inconvenienced, or maybe your arm will get hurt, or maybe it will delay the healing process, then you don't have to take it out, right? So from where to where we're jumping. So I was telling the masla like this here. Yes, if your foot, your leg is in plaster of Paris, for example, or your foot, whatever. Now there, obviously, you can't expect any time a man needs a Paris ghusl. You have to cut the plaster of Paris off. You have to put a new plaster of Paris, and then after he shower, he'll be seriously inconvenienced. So what you say that time, you put a packet over there, and then you make your normal ghusl, and then you just make masah over it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I told you, لأنه لا مسح الخفين من الجنابة. That's the hidden ibarat. There's no masa upon the khufain min al janabati, from janabat. As janabat, you have to remove your khuf. Ala manu bayinu, inshallah, according to what we'll explain later, right? Then the second is وبحدث متأخرين. What does it mean? يعني وبحدث متأخرين عن وضوء كامل. فهمت? That's what I explained to you earlier. That the hadith must come after the wudu has been completed. The hadith must come after the wudu has been completed. The hadith can't come. Right. So there's a question here. Let's see what they say. Um, if you cut yourself and put a plaster on, a waterproof one, you just wash over it. Whatever it falls off after the wudu, after the wound is needed, you have to repeat the wudu. Yes, that will come, inshallah. There is a chap. But the question is, if you had a wound, right, and it was necessary, I told you, if you just got a small paper cut and you put a plaster, and by taking the plaster, you just get a small burn. That's not permissible. You can't put a plaster on because that's a small. Here we're speaking that you'll be seriously inconvenient. It will really like hurt or it will really delay the halal the healing process. Then you're allowed to put a plaster or bandage. Just remember that. So this I remember it comes in sakat and burrin. In sakat and burrin means if it falls off because the wound is healed, then you have to and you the what is say if you washed you made wudu and you made masah, right, and then after making wudu you had a bandage on, but the bandage fell off and now the wound is healed. You just have to wash it again. But say, for instance, you had a plaster, right, and you made the yam or you made masal with, and yeah, the bandage fell off. But you can see now this thing is still what you call it is still needs can't get water on. If it get water, it's gonna get delay the heal process. So you put a bandage on, then there you don't have to wash, you don't have to put masah. So in sakada and bur'in, if it falls off as a result of being healed, now you have to wash, right? So he's saying here وبحدث متأخر and Masa is valid because of a hadath mutaakhir, a hadath that comes afterwards, after the taharat kamila. Right? Why? I explained to you this. That's why I explained in the beginning. لأن الخوف عهد مانعا. Because if you look at the khuf, it is something which prevents the hadath after this taharat. Listen nicely. Listen nicely. Khuf prevents hadath after taharat. So if you wash your feet and you put your socks on and you never complete your wudu and then your wudu broke, we'll say that the khuf is not doing its full function. The khuf can only do its full function when it is worn with complete taharat. Yeah, although your feet has got this taharat in it, right? But your body doesn't have its full taharat. So in simple words, to understand this, the khuf can only do its function, which is to prevent the hadath of coming into the feet when the khuf, when the body has its complete taharat. You understand what I'm saying? When the taharat of the body is complete. When the taharat of the body is not complete. When the taharat of the body is not complete, and then hadath comes, the khuf doesn't give its full function. Are you with me? You understood it? They're saying that they're saying لأن الخف because the khuf ahdun, it is a function mani'an which stops the hadath from going into the feet, right? ولو جوزنا بحدث سابق كالمستحاضة إذا لبست ثم خرج الوقت والمتيمم إذا لبست ثم رأى الماء كان رافيا. They're saying, look here, we can't say that okay, let's look at an example first. Say, for instance, a mustahada. What is a mustahada? A person whose wudu is breaking all the time, right? They can't, one salat time doesn't pass except they experience the breaker of wudu, right? You know, so that remember that it will still come in the kitab, right? So, لو جوزنا بحدث سابق كالمستحاضة إذا لبست ثم خرج الوقت والمتيمم إذا لبس. Okay, this one requires some explanation here. I don't want to rush it to the time is up. So we'll start again from this one here, inshallah. I hope the previous everything is understood properly. Everything was understood properly till there. So this examples they're going to give you here is where you want to make the khuf a rafi and hadath. When the khuf is not rafi. I told you, khuf is only mani'. It stops the hadath once the taharat is complete. But inshallah, we'll do that tomorrow.